Hello BookTube. So today I'm going to be doing the Sisterhood of the World book tag, and I was ever so kindly tagged by D. Marsha Osborne. I had always heard in the 7 to 10 years that I'd been stalking BookTube that this was such a welcoming community, and this is the first time that I've experienced it, and I just have to say to D. Marsha Osborne, thank you so much for tagging me. Thank you so much for mentioning my channel on your video. I really appreciated it, and you've absolutely made my week. And as I said in the comment on your video, considering that this is the last week before the school breaks up for our quick holiday, I have very high standards as what considers making my week. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Anyway, let's get to the questions. Number 1. What was a required reading book from school that you thought you'd hate but loved? I can't actually think of any books from school that would apply. When I was naively young, I went into every book that I encountered, quite thrilled at the potential that lay between the pages. As an adult though, as a teacher, I know that I had nightmares at the thought of teaching Animal Farm. I teach kids with barriers to learning, and I just couldn't see how I was going to make this fun. But it turned out that I didn't have to. The kids loved the connection to history, and they loved the connection to current politics. And they went off and found out more information, and it was an ongoing roller coaster ride. It was just fabulous. The kids did so much work, they got so involved, and I think they learned so much more about the world than just Animal Farm, which at the end of the day is the idea behind education, isn't it? It's not just to educate them to pass an exam, but for life as well. And I think there's a lot to be learnt about life in Animal Farm. So that was a very pleasant surprise. I never had a dud year with that book. I loved it in the end. I'm really sorry that I had to trade it in for Life of Pi this year. Number 2. Did your classes do book presentations in school? I can remember one occasion where we did. And then the question continues. Did anyone else's presentation make you want to read the book they presented? This is the reason why I can remember that at least we did this once. My answer is not quite. It was the discussion that happened at break before the presentation that really made me want to read this book. It was The Power of One by Bryce Courtney. And I remember sitting through her presentation trying not to hear any more about the book because now I really wanted to read it. Yeah, this was back in the days before spoilers was a word. Number 3. What is your favorite book you've read this year? Only one? There are 3 books that come to mind immediately. The first one is Between Shades of Grey by Ruta Sepetys, and that is not only because I thoroughly enjoyed the book, I thought it was fabulous, but because it sent me on a quest to go and learn about history and a whole section of the past that I did not even know existed. The second book would be The Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Ruiz Zafran, and we are just going to acknowledge the fact that I will be forever embarrassed for being unable to say his name. I have tried, people, I have tried. And then the last one is going to be The Crimson Petal and the White by Michelle Faber, and I don't want to talk too much about that one because that one's in my wrap-up for the month. But I should probably also mention that these are books that I've read in the last 2 months. I know that I also really enjoyed Middlesex by Jeffrey Eugenides. I thought it was very informative, but that was around February or March, so that was quite some time ago. It's faded a little. Question number 4 says, do you prefer standalone books or series? And I'm going to say I like books full stop. But to be more specific and to actually tackle the question, there's a place for all of them. I like my long fantasy series when I've got time, when I'm on holiday. There is nothing like immersing myself in a world that goes on and on and on, so long as it stays good. I'm thinking here of things like Sanderson's Stormlight Archives. But there's also the books, the never-ending series, like Kathy Reich's Tempe Brennan series, or like Lee Child's Jack Reacher series, where you know exactly what you're going to get. And I have those days where I just feel like something like that, and I know that if I pick up the next one, I know what I'm going to get. It's predictable, but it fills that need. It's like eating chocolate. You know, you don't eat it every day, but when you feel like it, you savor it. So I enjoy those because at least I know what I'm getting and it fulfills the expectation. But as a rule, I prefer standalones. I think it takes quite a story to be able to extend it over multiple books without a lot of it becoming redundant. So a standalone book is quite pleasant because it's a lot more concise, and I think in that way it makes it a lot more structured, although this is just a generalization. But I must admit, especially when I've been reading some YA books to try and find books for the school library, that I think that a lot of the series are packed with unnecessary stuff just so that they can make you buy 2 or 3 books when one would have been more than adequate, if not far too adequate. Just for some. Question number 5. Do you prefer characters or plot-based stories? And I'm going to go with both. I suppose, to be completely honest, I would say I would prefer a plot-based story to one that is just character-based. But I would not enjoy a plot-based book where the characters are just cardboard cutouts of people. I need both to actually be satisfied with what I've read. Number 6. What is your favorite place to read? I read in bed every night. I have done that since I was 5. I don't even know if I can sleep without reading first. It's what I do to shut the brain down and get ready to go into nap mode. Other than that, I used to enjoy reading in the lazy boy. I used to just pop the footrest out a little bit and put my feet on top of it so that my legs were at a great angle for a book rest. But my puppies ate the lazy boy. Question number 7. What are the last 5 booktube videos you watched? Okay, so I'm going to link these down below. The first one was the Poptimist's video on book adaptions and what to read next. He has a fabulous channel, by the way. I enjoyed The Guilty Reader Tag by Jean at Bookish Thoughts. I then watched Steve Donahue's library tour of Darkest Mordor Part 6. It was a rewatch because Steve hadn't posted a new video yet and I needed my Steve fix for the day. Then I watched D. Marsha Osborne's Sisterhood of the World Tag, in which she tagged me. I was so surprised and delighted, folks. I'm sure she could feel me blushing from here. And then the last one I watched was Books Weekly Classic Conflicts by Britta Bowler. And this was a catch-up because what with marking exams and doing reports, I have fallen a bit behind on my booktube viewing. Question number 8 says, what are the last 5 non-booktube videos you watched? And the first one is going to be the Piano Guys. It's the sneak peek from Fight Song. It's their behind the scenes videos. And that then leads me to the second video that I watched, which was This Is Your Fight Song by the Piano Guys. Man, these guys are so musical. They are brilliant. Their music is almost a religious experience for me. I love it. The third one, okay, well, this is a whole selection actually. I watched videos on foodies of South Africa because I'm looking for some inspiration. I'm tired of the normal. And they seem to have quite a few vegetarian recipes there as well, which is quite strange for such a meat-eating country. And then I also watched partially Robert Mugabe. He's the president of Zimbabwe. I watched his address to the UN General Assembly for 2017. Unfortunately, the video was such poor quality and it was something like 29 minutes long that I couldn't do it. There was too much static. The video was tiny. Yeah, it wasn't very good. And if we're not counting YouTube videos, then I caught up on some world news on BBC News. I'm sounding so grown up. I'm really not this mature. And then question 9 says, if you could live in any world with any character, what and who would they be? And I'm going to go for Terry Pratchett's Discworld in Ankh-Morpork. And I would stay with Sam Vimes because it sounds a lot like home, except there's magic. So those are my answers to the Sisterhood of the World book tag. I don't really have any subscribers to tag, or at least not subscribers that make videos that I know of. So unfortunately, I'm unable to tag anyone back in return. Thank you again, D. Marsha Osborne. I really appreciate what you've done for my channel. And to everyone else, thanks for watching. Bye.